we started our day with a tour of the current city of Athens. We saw a building where the Olympic Games had been held and some government buildings. Our first sight was the Parthenon building. The sky was the most beautiful I've ever seen in my entire life. It looked like every Greek and Roman painting I've ever seen. Right next to the Parthenon building was the Temple of Aphrodisia. The most memorable moment of the trip happened when we visited Mars Hill, which was right next to the Parthenon building. In Acts 17, Paul was brought before a council where he preached the gospel to the people in a culturally relatable way. Men of Athens, I noticed that you are very religious in every way. For as I was walking along, I saw your many shrines, and one of your altars had this inscription on it, "To an unknown God." This God, whom you worship without knowing, is the one I'm telling you about. He is the God who made the world and everything in it. Since he is the Lord of heaven and earth, he doesn't live in man-made temples, and human hands cannot serve his needs, for he has no needs. He himself gives life and breath to everything, and he satisfies every need. On the side of the mountain contained a plaque with this inscribed passage in Greek. Dr. Ickblad preached about how Paul related his message uniquely to the culture of Athens, and how we too can tailor our message to be culturally relevant to the people we are evangelizing to. Afterwards, an atheist came up to Dr. Ickblad and said how his message had touched her. She happened to be visiting Mars Hill and overheard the message. That was really cool to hear a message preached similar to the message that Paul had preached on the exact same spot. It really challenged me to think about when I'm talking to an individual about God, how can I make it very relatable to them in a way that they would understand so simplistically? I thought that was really cool and something that could be really applicable to my life. We then went to the Athens Agora, which was a marketplace where most likely Paul had visited, and then we saw the museum where there were some ancient artifacts. By this time, my stomach was really growling, and we had finished looking at the museum and all the different places for the day, and I could see right down the street was where we were going to have lunch. So I thought, maybe if I just start walking, people will follow. And they did. That was kind of God's way of telling me that, hey, Whitney, you're a leader, just like Paul. We broke off into groups for lunch, and Jesse, James, Michael, David, Rebecca, and I all went to this delicious Greek restaurant. They gave us a deal where we could get an all-inclusive meal with free alcohol and dessert. But when the guy came around to ask us what we wanted, beer or wine to drink, we all kind of just looked at each other and were like, can we get coffee instead? And the guy just thought we were crazy. Then we did a little shopping, which Michael got really excited about. Then we took a subway ride down to the sea. The sea was very beautiful and the water was so blue, but I didn't really get a chance to enjoy it because when we got to the beach, somehow we started talking about Katy Perry, and by the end of the night, all the way back to the hotel, we were in a deep theology debate. Don't ask me how we were relating. If you had a booger in your nose, would you want someone to tell you, to the Bible? I don't know. It was a strange day.